This is a video that shows you how to process lots of shipments at once, which we call batch processing. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely watch the video which explains how to process a single shipment, because that introduces some concepts that we don't cover here. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with a batch of goods out notes, which is typically what you do in a busier warehouse. First of all, we're going to print a batch, and then what we're going to do is print a consolidated picking list, which marks them as picked, and I'll explain that next. Then what you do is you take this consolidated picking list to the warehouse, select items from the shelf and put them onto a trolley, return the trolley to the packing desk, and place each item into cartons for each shipment. Then what you do is you enter the shipment information into the carrier system, so that's address, zip code, postcode and so on. That returns you a tracking code, which you put into Brightpearl. That marks the shipment as packed, and then at the end of the day you filter per carrier and then batch update to shipped. So here's a consolidated picking list. Say you've got 4 different sales orders, each that's created one goods out note. There's a number of products on these goods out notes, but you don't want to run around the warehouse picking each one individually because that will be inefficient. What we do is we produce a consolidated picking list for the items based on location, regardless of which sales order or which goods out note they're on. So in this example where we've got 3 of SKU A, the red items, the picking list doesn't show that it's for separate sales, it just says go to this location and pick 3 of SKU A. It's only at the packing stage when you separate them into different orders. So let's see how to do this in Brightpearl. We're going to create a multi-shipment picking list and batch process a number of goods out notes. First of all, I go to Sales, Goods Out Notes, Due to Ship, and that shows me everything that's in progress today in the warehouse, whether it's printed, picked or packed. What I'd then do is I'd select a load of these and hit print. If you've got many of them, you might choose to batch these based on shipping method, and you can choose those in the filters so that you prioritize the most important ones first. So let's hit print, which opens a new tab where each of these packing notes will print out on a separate sheet of paper. This screen respects the channel branding, which means that if a channel has got a specific template attached to it, that template will be used. Going back to the list, you can see that these have been marked as printed automatically. What I now want to do is print a consolidated picking list. So let's select this whole batch and hit pick. Again, this opens a new tab, and here we can see a picking list for all of those separate goods out notes. There are 6 goods out notes, but only 4 lines on here, because some of those goods out notes contain the same products. Once I've picked all those items from the warehouse, I return to the packing desk and pack each one individually. You bring each one up in Brightpearl, enter it into your carrier system, and if you're integrating with the carrier system automatically, that'll be done for you. The carrier tracking reference will be placed into Brightpearl. You can choose to send an email to the order delivery address by ticking this box here, and then clicking pack. Once you've packed the entire batch, you can see that they'll all have been ticked on this list. Then at the end of the day, what you'll do is you'll show the goods out notes that have been packed, but not yet shipped, filter the report, which takes you to the screen we can see here. You'd select them all, and then hit ship to close them off at the end of the day. Now here are some important things to know about shipment processing. It's the same information I told you about in the video that talks about processing a single shipment. So if you need to read this in detail, pause the video and work through it. And that takes us to the end of the video where we see how to work with lots of shipments at once, including printing of a consolidated picking list.